Thoughts on prologues. Right, I'm going to give you three that I think are important to remember for writing a prologue and if you're going to choose to use one. So my first point about prologues are that they're not information dumps. If you feel you've got details that you need to give to the reader before the start of the story, don't use the prologue to dump that information on the reader. Information dumps are never great, but in prologues, they're the worst. Because the prologue might be the first time that the reader comes across you as the writer, and you don't want to feed them with an information dump. Second is understanding that a prologue is there to set up a context. It's either to give a bit of information, present the sort of style of the story. Because say the first 3 or 4 chapters don't let the reader know that this is a fantasy story. You can add a prologue then that shows elements of fantasy so that the reader's aware. So by the time you get to chapter 4 and the fantasy elements come in, there's not a massive shock because you've been treated with them in the prologue. The first Matrix film does this. Point 2, yeah, was set up a context. And point 3, in my experience, a lot of the time they're not needed. This is not me saying that prologues are bad, but with a lot of the writers that I see and a lot of the stories that I see, a lot of the times what the prologue is being used for is to dump information that can be spread out through the story. So a lot of the time the prologue isn't necessarily needed. The best way to sort of understand the value of your prologue is through writing groups and listening to other writers and people and ask them the question, do you think this prologue's adding anything or is it detracting? Because they do have a place. It's just in my experience, it's not always needed.